Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, April 16th, in the middle of the little gap between the Celtics regular season and playoffs. Celtics have the Magic in the first round officially. We talked to Joe, Jason, and KP at practice, as well as I think, who was it? It was Jrue and Al at practice the other day too. So we have a little bit of stuff from everything from practice and the gap between then and now. And we'll go over it all. How you doing, Sam?
Doing good. Excited for the playoffs. Happy we've got the full playoff schedule, which I guess we can also mention off the top. But through the playoffs, two of us are going to have you covered. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps more after each game. Other videos on the channel in between. Keep you up to date with all things Celtics, so subscribe for it all. Today's show is going to be just as fun as the rest of it. We'll talk about, like Jack said, today's practice, today being Wednesday, as we're putting this one out. We'll go through. We, of course, have Bradley Beal talking about Jrue Holiday, and then we'll go and talk about some of the other playing stuff, some rumors. We'll do the rat list. We'll get up out of here. It's going to be a fun show, so stick around through all. Bear with me because I'm in a closet today and my audio is not the best.
That's all right. Let's get right into it. Let's start at practice today as we're recording this. So Wednesday, Kristaps talked to us and said, kind of expanded on his conversation with Jaylen Brown. Bobby Manning was asking him about it. And after the Knicks game, the last road game or second to last road game of the regular season, Kristaps basically said, like, on Jaylen's knee, quote, maybe he needs to take care of it. Like, maybe this is something that he needs, like, we don't know. He didn't know. And he was basically like, yeah, maybe he just needs to sit. This is something, whatever. And at practice today, he said he talked to Jaylen about this. He was like, yeah, we definitely talked about it just because of my history and with some of the knee stuff that had bothered me in the past. So we definitely talked. I gave him my point of view and what I thought could help him. And he did things necessary, I think, to be as healthy and feeling as good as possible for this run we're about to have. So he looks good. And he basically was like, he's always saying he feels good, but he actually looks good. And that's the most important. And then Bob Schrawn followed up, like, hey, what exactly did he tell him? And he said, not to go into too much detail, but some of the stuff that just helped me we have some similar stuff. Maybe he has something going on. Like maybe I know more or less what it is. So I just gave him my point of view. Basically, Kristaps was taking his experience, his extensive experience dealing with injuries in the past and sort of passing it on to Jaylen. And maybe that helped Jaylen make the decisions he needed. Maybe it just helped him mentally process it. But I just think that's an interesting tidbit that Kristaps let us in on.
Especially because Porzingis was openly critical of this whole Jaylen thing when everyone else was like, this is the greatest, he's healthy, and which, like, I guess you kind of have to say, unless you're Porzingis, who, from my understanding, is one of the closest guys on the team with Jaylen, so it makes sense why he's comfortable talking about it, and clearly, either since then or before he said to the media that, you know, whatever he said that was basically like, I don't understand why he's pushing himself through this. He had spoken to him and had this conversation and tried to help him through this process. Because, like you said, Porzingis has dealt with a lot, including this year. He had to battle back from the injury he suffered in the finals, missed the Olympics last year. Actually, I don't even know if Latvia got in the Olympics last year. It's on me. But anyways, he's certainly qualified to discuss injuries with Jaylen. And I think that says a lot about him as a teammate, somebody who's not afraid to be vocal against one of the guys that is the top guy on the team. That makes sense. It takes a lot of balls to do that. I know they're close and probably came from a place of love, but when we're all sitting here scratching our heads and being like, I don't understand why he continues to play in these meaningless games, even if, like, yes, there is an avenue where it makes sense, but watching it is just not pleasant. You're just like kind of dumbfounded. So shout out to Kristaps. I hope Jaylen is better. I mean, the Kristaps tidbit here about him feeling better, does it have anything to do with the injection you got in your knee? Probably. It probably does. So we'll see how that lasts. We'll see what the effects that has on him going forward are going to be. That's the biggest question mark here. Is he going to do more damage to it? My guess would be probably not. Otherwise, they'd be more cautious and probably push back on him doing what he's been doing. But we have to wait and see.
Yeah. He called. I don't like the, like, using the as aggressive phrases, he called him out. I don't think Kristaps went into the interview and was like, yeah, Jaylen's being a fucking moron. I need to say something or he's going to like kill himself. Like that's not what was happening. Right. I think it was more of like, yeah, man, like I can see that he's laboring a little. Maybe he needs to consider something else. Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't think it came out of a malicious place. Like saying he called him out and like he spoke up and like spoke out, like means Jaylen is actively doing something stupid and wrong, and Kristaps is taking it upon himself to say like, you're an idiot, bro. Like, I don't think that's necessarily what's happening. Like we still don't know, and we will never know what the exact thing behind the scenes was. Like we've talked about it a bunch with you. I've talked about it with Noah, Justin, Bobby, and I think Noah's point was like, what if they didn't know, like back in February, like they didn't know what it was, and Jaylen was like, all right, well, if we don't know what it is, like I'm just gonna try to like figure it out, because if you're not gonna tell me an exact timeline, then do I need to sit? Do I not need to sit? And then by the time they figured out what it is, like it's too late now. Like you can't sit for 6 weeks to rest it. Like you don't have the time to do that before the playoffs. So there was like the unknown part of it in that aspect. And then you get to now and he's playing through it and you can see the pain. Like there's not much to do except get those injections. And so maybe like the most outlandish or the most like hypercritical thing that I think came of this was Kristaps talked to him and was like, hey, even a little bit of rest can help. And Jaylen was like, you know what? You're right. It's okay. Like the most crazy thing that came of this was Kristaps convinced Jaylen to abandon his 65 game quest. But in my opinion, the most realistic is just like Kristaps gave his point of view as somebody who's had injuries before. And Jaylen was always going to be like, all right, I'm going to play on for a little bit, take a couple rest days at the end of the season, take the week break and go from there. So I don't know. Like, did he like call him out? Technically, yes. But I feel like call him out implies malice, and I don't think there was any of that. Like I don't think Kristaps was trying to be like aggressive when he said that in the media.
We're on the same page with that. Just to give context to exactly what I was referencing, Porzingis on April 8th, which was the Knicks game, he goes, he's a tough dude about Jaylen. He always preaches a warrior mindset. He lives by it. But to what extent do we need that right now? Maybe he needs to take care of it and make sure he's going to be ready for the most important moment. So it's not like he wasn't going out there trying to make him look like an asshole or anything. But, it kind of sent the message that, I don't know, it was jarring because it was the first time we heard anybody from the Celtics say anything that wasn't, it's up to him. This is what he wants to do.
That's because nobody on the Celtics ever says anything like that. Like, I don't think that's because everyone else was saying like other like kind stuff. That's just because no one ever says anything outside of the media trained. We're not going to give you any insight. So that's how I saw it, at least. But I don't know, man. Regardless of if he meant malice or if he meant to be a dick in that moment, which again, I don't think he did. I think Jaylen and Kristaps have a very well documented, really good relationship. Yes. Hearing that Kristaps gave Jaylen the advice of like, here, this is what I've gone through. This is this, like, maybe this was like part of the reason he got the injections, because maybe KP has gotten some other stuff, or maybe KP has dealt with knee or leg injuries similar to Jaylen's, that he's like, even a couple days rest can help, or even this can help, or doing this, or do this workout, or stretch this, or figure out this rest day plan, or eat this, or do whatever. Like having somebody who has gone through similar injuries and similar recovery periods is probably a very helpful thing, especially since I think they still live in the same building. So having a guy right there the whole time to give you that advice, I feel like is a very valuable thing to have. And I just thought it was very interesting inside perspective as to some of the conversations behind the scenes. But regardless, speaking of Kristaps also gave us a little bit of an injury update himself. I mean, nothing crazy. I basically just asked him, I was like, hey, how are you feeling? Like, you've dealt with an illness, you've dealt with a bunch of other stuff. How are you feeling? And he gave us a very basic answer, but he said, I'm feeling good, taking care of my body. It's good to have these few days off, not just for myself, but I'm sure for a lot of guys. So yeah, feeling healthy and ready to go, which is like as much as you can kind of ask for. Like there was no, in the past when people say, how are you feeling? He'll be like, oh, I'm 80%, or I'm this percent, I'm this and this. And he's just like, yeah, I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling okay. He's looked like he's feeling okay lately. Like I haven't watched him since coming back from the illness and being like, oh God, this guy's off. Like he's looked pretty good. And so seeing and hearing that he is like confident and feeling all right heading into the playoffs, I think is a positive thing.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like you said, he's not really shy to be like, I'm not 100%. So having him have this extra rest is going to be important for him being at his best. And I'm sure this year is a big deal to him because he didn't really get to participate last year as much as he would have liked. Missed 2 full rounds and then the back half of the finals after hurting his calf in round 1 against Miami. So he's got to be chomping at the bit to get back out there. I'm very excited. Not to mention Porzingis has played really well since he came back from being sick. Even in the games where Porzingis wasn't feeling great still, like he would go and do the walk-off with Abby and be like, yeah, I actually still feel like shit, but he had like 30 points and he was efficient and actually looked pretty dominant and comfortable being the guy from the nail, which is the best thing I think he gives to the Celtics is just that different look on offense. Not to mention he had that aerial attack on the Knicks where he was just bombing threes from everywhere, hit it from the logo, went berserk in a big bright lights game. I think he's ready, and I can't wait because I think Porzingis is just such an exciting player, exciting piece of the Celtics team, and he makes things a lot easier on Jaylen and Jason. And considering the situation that Jaylen is in, having Porzingis at full strength is all the more important. So I'm looking forward to game 1 on Sunday. Looking forward to see what Porzingis brings there. And I'm happy he's feeling good. Good for him, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I also was asking about what they can take from the Magic games, because it's hard to take stuff from games where no one's healthy. Like even the first game when the Magic won, nobody was healthy on that Magic team. Like Paolo and Franz were both out. You go to the next game where everyone's a little bit more healthy. I think Tatum was out or Jaylen was out. One of them was out and Franz was also out. So you're Porzingis, like somebody was out for the Celtics and Franz was out for the Magic. And then the last game of the season was Torrey Craig and Baylor Shireman starting against a Magic team that didn't have, obviously Suggs and Wagner, but they're not going to play in the playoffs, or Mo Wagner, I should say, but they're not going to play in the playoffs. So I was basically like, what can you even take from those games? And KP gave me an answer that made sense. He was like, you can take tendencies, right? Like you can take tendencies on both sides, even if, Paolo's not playing Tatum or Jaylen, like you can still take that. So he said, you can see the tendencies on both sides, the way both teams play, some of the mistakes we make, some of the mistakes that they're there. They may be committed in those games, but they're going to correct, etc. So we could definitely look at some of the details and pull some of those things out. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. Joe and Tatum both gave me answers as well. I asked Jason, and he said, regardless of whatever happened through the regular season, like it's a different season. So basically, like it doesn't matter anymore. Like, or it's a different season entirely. Like you can look back and watch films on those things, but they're an entirely new team that we're playing against, and we're a new team too. And he was like, they've seen since last playoff something else. I didn't get a chance to transcribe these quotes yet. And then when I asked Joe, he said, let's see. I can't find exactly that question, but he was just basically like, you got to stay healthy. He gave a classic Joe answer, but hearing that they can still take things from the injured games was interesting as well.
So this is a really, really good tie-in segue. For those that did not know, after you listen to this show, you should go and listen to Joe Mazzulla on Pardon My Take yesterday, because he did his 3rd appearance on the show. He's a lot of fun to listen to when he does that show. And he actually kind of talked about the way he looks at things when guys are out. More specifically, thinking about the way the end of the year went. They had the 2 games where it was Peyton Pritchard, the boys out there. The rest of the regular rotation guys were just sitting out, resting, getting healthy for the playoffs. And he was asked about why he's able, or how he's able to carry that same psychotic have to win, must win mentality into a game against Charlotte on the last day of the season that means nothing. And it has a lot to do with when you have a Baylor Shireman or a Jrue Peterson or a Nene that isn't playing in the big moments and doesn't have those high pressure reps, being able to make them feel what they are doing in a game and put them under that pressure is rewarding, considering the amount of work that they put in the season. So I'm sure there's plenty on top of what I just talked about that he's able to take away from the Magic games, despite guys not being there, guys not being healthy. And he may take some of the same stuff away from the Orlando side of things, because if you are the Magic and you're playing against the Celtics, almost regardless, maybe not the recent game, but the other one you mentioned where guys were out on both sides and it wasn't quite the matchup everyone had been looking for, the rotation guys in Orlando had a point to prove. They wanted to show up and play against the Celtics, and they had to take care of that. So I think you can put stock in that, see who was ready, see who wasn't ready, and maybe shape the game plan we touched upon yesterday when we talked about the Magic being the team. And you're like, well, it's Paolo and Franz, and then nobody else can score for them. But in the Hawks game, they actually did have those guys score. So we'll see.
It's always fun listening to Mazzulla talk in a setting where he actually wants to talk. Like in a setting where it's not
unbelievable.
being forced.
I know is he did give some similar answers where like you could tell he was just being himself in both settings, if that makes sense. Like the way he was talking to Big Cat and PFT was like, oh, like that's something he would say to us. Like maybe he doesn't hate us that much, right?
And then other times he tells us a story about how after every game in that January stretch that he told the coaching staff that they were all going to get fired and he was going to get fired if they didn't turn it around. They didn't deserve to play for the Celtics, which was super funny. Apparently, I haven't listened to this clip, but Jake Eisenberg posted it. He apparently like blamed the January stretch on Sam Cassell jokingly. Like he's just messing around, man. He's talked about how like every game they played in the 6-game road trip, they were using to simulate the playoffs. Like they were just every team we were playing, they were better than us at one thing, and we really fought to take away that one thing. Like he's just a sicko, man. It's such a fun experience. Like go listen to the episode. We're not going to go through every quote and everything that he said, but
he said no wearing championship merch. Anybody that goes to a playoff game, don't wear 2024 championship merch. You're going to offend them.
Shout out Joe, man. And shout out to Gametime, which is the best place to get all your ticketing needs this basketball season, this baseball season with spring right around the corner, everything going on. Make sure to check out gametime.co. That is. Let me pull it up on the screen here for the YouTube audience so you can see what exactly is going on. Let's check out Fenway Park. We haven't checked out Fenway in a little while. Let's take a look. Everything you click on, you can see the exact view from that seat you're going to sit in. That's my favorite feature, so you know exactly what you're getting. You won't be surprised with the pole or anything in the way when you get there. Even up here on the monitor, you can see exactly what the view is going to be from up there. This little fire emblem means that's the cheapest seat, the cheapest deal you got in the stadium. And then right here is what Gametime qualifies as a super deal. So it's the best bang for your buck, basically, in that area in terms of the quality of the seat and the price. You can also toggle on and off the feature that tells you exactly what you're going to pay, including fees, so you don't get surprised with any fees at checkout. So that's a very nice thing to have. On top of that, you get last minute deals with Gametime, which means you can save up to 60% buying last minutes for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. And that point itself is important too. It's just more than just sports. You can go see a comedy show. You can go see a concert. You can go see theater. You can see everything. You can get them right there on Gametime. You also get zone deals, which means you save even more when you choose a section and let Gametime choose the seats. So you can get a little bit of a discount if you just pick the area and then let Gametime pick the exact seats for you. You also get the lowest price guarantee, which means Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference if it's not the lowest price you can find. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
I didn't want to interrupt you. That Gametime app, the map of Fenway Park, they even have the shadows on there. So you know if you're going to get absolutely cooked by the sun if you buy tickets in the wrong section. That's an incredible feature. This isn't even part of the ad. I was just like, holy shit, they really thought about it.
It's great. It's great. All right. Bradley Beal versus Jrue Holiday, the saga. So this came out. Chris Haynes tweeted it.
The dog, Chris Haynes.
Yeah, Chris Haynes. After Mike Budenholzer got fired, it came out that one of the things that happened was Bud effectively asked Bradley Beal to be their Jrue Holiday, and Bradley Beal did not receive that message well. Jay King asked Jrue Holiday about it at Celtics practice yesterday or a couple days ago, and Jrue gave actually a very like reasonable answer, and he's like, he's basically like, we're different players. Like Brad's an elite scorer, and he has somewhat of an off year, so I feel like things are different. It's tough to go somewhere for like where he was in Washington and then experience everything he's experienced. Basically saying like you understand it, I guess, a little bit from the perspective of you're asking me who's been a multi-time all-star. Like there's egos involved. If there's anybody that has egos, it's NBA players. To change the way I've played my entire career that has brought me all the success and had me a multi-time all-star and do everything and all this stuff. And then Holiday said, I just don't know why people got to bring me into it. Just let me do me, go out here and try to win as many rings as I can. Like basically like, don't bring me into this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, if you have a problem with your coach asking you to play like one of the most well-respected defenders, one of the best winners, and one of the guys who helped sacrifice his own stats for a championship, things probably weren't going to work out very well in the first place.
So the two of us both wrote about this. I wrote about it for Celtics, like you wrote about it for Houdini. And I saw this story. I was like, this is right up my alley. What loser mentality you have to respond this way when asked to sacrifice for your team. Because the Celtics have shown how great of an impact sacrifice can make on a team. And it also shows a lot about the moves that were made and how calculated it had to be and just how on the nose Brad Stevens was with the players that he picked to put into this concoction that is this amazing basketball team. And then you have players that would not fit. A player, by the way, who was rumored to be, let's not say rumored, let's say linked to this team a lot because of Jason Tatum. Because they're both St. Louis guys, because they have a good relationship. And now looking back on it to be like, what luck we all have that this guy did not end up on the Celtics. Because
he was never coming to the Celtics. I think that was the biggest bunch of baloney ever. But yes.
Regardless, it was something that people convinced themselves about. They were like, what if we traded Jaylen? What if they gave up Jaylen? What if they gave up Jaylen for Bradley Beal? They could do it. And Bradley Beal asked to take on a role like Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday, who was borderline the conference finals MVP last year because of how versatile he is and how much he can turn it up when it's asked of him to turn it up, and is well-loved here and well-loved in Milwaukee and well-loved pretty much everywhere he's played. He has all these records with the Pelicans because he was there for so long. And be like offended? Like I think you are on the nose with the egos thing. It was how I started the article I wrote. To be one of the 450 best NBA or basketball players in the world to be in the NBA, you have to have some sort of nobody's going to be able to tell me shit in you. You just have to. Because that's how you get here. You have to be confident. There's also a layer to sticking around in the NBA is a lot about sacrifice and understanding when you may not be the guy anymore. And there's no greater example of that than a team like the Celtics, guys like Horford, multi-time All-Star, Holiday, multi-time All-Star, Porzingis, former All-Star, joining the team at different times and being willing to just sacrifice. And the guys that are already here, willing to sacrifice because they want to win, and you can see how effective that is. Not wanting to do that, and not only not wanting to do it, but then shutting off and turning your back and being a thorn in the side of the Suns team. The Suns, who are not innocent in this either, because there was a lot of just back and forth, and Beal was alienated because of the money he makes and the no trade clause he has and the complications he puts on roster building. Everybody sucks here, but this is really a bad look for Bradley Beal.
It is. But at the same time, and this is not me saying Bradley Beal is the better player of any of this. Let's not sit here and act like Booker and Durant sacrificed shit either. Like let's not say that anybody sacrificed anything in this situation. Like we can sit here and say like obviously it should be Bradley Beal. He's the worst of the three. Yeah, but if they're not sacrificing shit and I'm Bradley Beal, I'm like, well, what the fuck are they doing? Like on the Celtics team, Jason Tatum has sacrificed touches. He could put up 30 like he did a couple years ago, but he doesn't. Jaylen Brown has sacrificed a bunch. He's not playing the whole first quarter anymore. He's doing this, that, whatever. Kristaps sacrificed shots. Jrue sacrificed shots. Derek has upsurged, but he could probably take on a larger role. Pritchard barely played 2 years ago. Now he's a 6-man of the year. He should like people sacrifice. That's what wins championships. And the Suns team has nobody who does that. So I think that is an important thing to note as well. But yeah, let's move on to the email. Reminder as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. One email today from RJ. RJ says, time to check my receipts. Evening, folks. Meant to send this off Monday, but got distracted. Recapping how I did at predicting the 24-25 NBA regular season. Short answer, not very well. I got 3 teams spot on, correctly picking the Bucks to finish 5th in the East, along with the Warriors 7th and the Jazz dead last in the West. I did get 4 of the 6 Eastern Conference playoff teams correct. I thought the Florida teams would finish 3-4, with the Knicks sliding down to 8th and the Pistons missing the play-in altogether. Sorry, Sam. Out West, I had Minnesota, Denver, and OKC making the playoffs 2-4, but seriously overestimated Sacramento and Dallas. Memphis, I had at 6, which given how tight to the finish didn't seem too far off. My playing teams were Golden State, Clippers, Phoenix, and Houston. I thought this would be the year LeBron missed the playoffs completely. I thought wrong. if I'm gonna prognosticate, I gotta post-gnosticate too. My finals matchup still intact with Celtics getting the better of Minnesota, but I will stand by my take that the C's win it all in 21 games, 3-4-1 series, and then the finals in 6 games. We'll see. Be well, RJ, who will now unwind until Sunday. I can pull up our predictions too if you want to take a look, because I think we did.
I was just trying so hard to find them. I don't remember the date on the episode we did it. So if you have a method, best of luck. I'm curious.
I think we put them, or might have put them, in a Google Doc. I don't know for sure, but I can take a look and see. Excuse me, if we did.
I know we both predicted Boston to be first. We had Philly far higher than they were supposed to be. We did not.
I got them.
Cleveland at all. Go ahead, pull them up.
I got them. Okay. You want to do yours first or mine first?
We can send me to the gulag first. Let's take a look.
Okay. Sam, you had Boston 1. Wrong. You had Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Miami, Philly, New York, Orlando, Indiana, Atlanta, Brooklyn. Is this yours? You had Detroit missing the play-in entirely. This
might have. Yeah.
Is this for the wrong year? This doesn't seem right. Is this yours and mine's?
Let's see.
What is this?
This can't be right. One.
Surely this can't be right. I'd be shocked if you had.
I had Indiana second when we did them this year.
Okay, yeah. So this is wrong. This is a different year. Okay, so this cannot be right. So I don't know. Apologies while I'm trying to find this, because this is, I mean, it says 2025, so it should be the correct thing. But it's
we
just
put it on the same one as RJ's.
This is a different tab of RJ's, but RJ's has his own. So, or wait, this is Indiana second. Did RJ have Indiana second?
Yeah.
And now I'm just lost.
We have dropped the ball. This is an unmitigated disaster. I can tell you off the top of my head, I know we both had Cleveland not very high. We had Philly far higher than they should have been. I put New York lower down. I think I had the Pistons making the plan or adjacent to it. You did not. I think that was the biggest thing. I probably had the Pelicans high up on the West because I'm just addicted to Pelicans, where I'm like, well, one of these years they're going to finally capitalize on the talent they have, and they're going to put it together, and they're going to compete. And somehow I always manage to be wrong. I'm going to keep looking through the Google Docs.
I found it. I think I found it. I think so. Maybe not. I see one. I see what I assume is yours because it is Indy second. But no, because then this has the Pistons 11th, which I don't think.
I might have put him 11th.
Or you have this has them 10th.
I might have
you had them 10th.
It sounds like it was.
Regardless, so the one I see is Celtics, Pacers, Knicks, Bucks, Sixers, Magic. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And then you had Heat, Cavs, Raptors, Pistons in the play-in, and then Hornets, Hawks, Bulls, Wizards, Nets outside, which is a little bit funny.
The Cavs one is just brutal.
Brutal. I think I had a similar issue.
I was all in on the Mitchell Garland don't like each other reports that came out from Shams last summer, where it sounded like Mitchell was forcing them to move off of one of them, and didn't happen. Cavs figured it out. They had a tremendous season, and I look like a fool, per usual.
Yeah, I found the video. I wonder if I have my of course I didn't screen share. That'd be too fucking easy if I screen share it on this video. Moron. Oh wait, maybe I did at the end, or is this emails? I don't know, man. Who knows what we predicted? I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I have RJ's, but not mine. Sorry, I can't find them. Fucked it up. Whatever. Thank you, RJ, for the email. I got nothing for you. I have no idea where I put that. But moving on, the Warriors just beat the Grizzlies in the play-in tournament. Great game, phenomenal game. Came down to the wire. A lot of questionable calls, a lot of questionable happenings. At the end of the game, Warriors ended up getting the win. Steph is unbelievable. Jimmy played great too. Watching those guys go at it was super fun. And yeah, they'll play the Rockets in the first round, which I'm not thrilled about if I'm the Rockets.
Yeah, like I said last time when we were kind of just looking at the overview, and I think we both thought the Warriors would win this playing game. And I was like, well, if there's anyone with experience of a really star-heavy team that people like as an underdog or a lower seed, it is Udoka. But it is different because the Warriors are not an asylum, a nut house where they are just a bunch of clashing personalities. Like Jimmy, despite the way things have ended in Miami, has been a tremendous addition. He's bought fully in. He had a quote last night where he was talking about his hopes for the team, his playoff history of just being a riser. And he's like, well, Steph's here too, so he's Batman, and I get to be Robin. Like, that rocks. And he's just fully committed to helping the team.
I think your audio cut out. I lost you for a second.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Is your mic? Oh, there you go. Welcome.
Oh, maybe I'd hit the thing. I don't know.
I can hear you again. No, you're good.
Okay. Jimmy's talking about being Robin to Steph's Batman. He just is like, this is great. I don't have to do everything, and I can pick my spots. And he really feels like he's going to be a perfect playoff guy for them. Watching some of the stuff they do on offense where Jimmy's handling the ball, and then you have Draymond and Steph working together off the ball to create open Steph looks. It's just crazy. One of the ones they had in the fourth quarter yesterday, it's like Draymond catches the ball like mid-baseline, and Steph just runs behind him and gets the handoff, and there's nobody within 5 feet of Steph. It's incredible to watch. So, I think the Rockets could be in real trouble. This game was riddled with controversy. Draymond fouls out. Pods gets what looked like to be a clean block on Scottie Pippen Jr. in transition, and then is whistled for a foul. And then the refs are like, we got this. And then they have the 5-second violation at the end of the game, which it took forever for Santi Aldama to try and get that ball in. And I don't know. I think I saw somebody on Reddit did a timer in front of it. Maybe it was a little quick, but it felt like
no. It was 5 seconds. The timer, I saw the timer was like 4.13. Wrong. They stopped it before he passed the ball. It was 5 seconds. Regardless, get the ball in. You got to get the ball in bounds, bro.
There also was just no development going on the floor. The play was dead. There was nothing. People were like, "This is what they got rid of Taylor Jenkins for." Tough for the Grizzlies. They are now going to play whoever wins this Kings Mavericks game, the fucking toilet bowl game of the play-in. Who the fuck cares? I mean, I would be so curious to see what the ratings are of the second 9-10 play-in games of both conferences. Because these are just 4 clown teams.
Not great teams, certainly. There was one play late in this game that Jimmy had the ball inside and he kicked it out to Draymond and no one was covering Draymond, but then Draymond used that to screen for the guy covering Steph. And since no one was covering Draymond, there was nobody to help up on Steph when the guy covering Steph got screened, and then Steph got an open quarter through. It was just like they know exactly how to counteract everything so beautifully. So it's super fun to watch. The Warriors are gonna be great, man. I mean, this comes off the back of I don't hate Draymond. This comes off the back of, I think a couple weeks ago, the Warriors and the Rockets went at it when both these teams were still fighting for playoff seeding. I believe so. I think Ime was talking his shit to Steph a little bit, which, Ime is going to talk his shit. Over under 2 games before Ime and Draymond are fighting on the floor is
it's going to be the best.
This is going to be a phenomenal series. I'm very excited for it. Listen, man, I think everyone's going to pick the Warriors in the series. I wonder if they're favored in the series. I think I just saw a line somewhere here. I don't know exactly where or what it was, but it would not surprise me if the Warriors are going into the series favored. Yeah, according to, this is from Bovada, so I don't know for sure, but Warriors minus 175, Rockets plus 150 for the series. So this is a very close series. Do I think the Warriors are going to win? Excuse me. If I had to pick, I'd pick them. The Rockets could surprise some people, man. If the Rockets win this series, you could look at this and be like, oh shit, this is real. Where this is a good team. And they can shake off some of that young team narrative, perhaps. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm very excited to watch the series. I'll say that. So we'll see what happens there. But
I can't wait for that. Do we want to do a quick series power rankings and exclude the Celtics, or should we wait until the other seeds are set?
No, we can do that. Before we do that, I need to remind you guys listening that you are listening to this on the CLNS Media Network. So make sure to go check out Celtics All Access channel and the CLNS Media channel on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to all the pods over there. Check out First the Floor. Check out the Garden Report. Check out all our friends at or on the CLNS Media Network, I should say. Make sure to subscribe here too. How About Them Celtics channel? We drop pods, our shows or videos on this day every single day of the week. 24/7, 365. You'll see a new video on this channel every single day, and some bonus episodes on top of that, especially during the draft season. Audio platforms, we have audio shows coming out every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And then if there's a game the day before or there's a big event like finding out the Celtics playoff matchup, you can find our audios shows on that platform there as well. Or like you can find it there too. So make sure to check those out. Make sure to go to, again, Celtics All Access on CLNS YouTube channel. You get press conferences there. You get the Garden Report live streams there. Leave a like, subscribe. And then if you're listening on audio platforms, make sure to leave a review. That's super important too. Turn notifications on YouTube as well, so you know exactly when those videos are coming out. But back to the NBA section. Let's do that power ranking that you're talking about. We can power rank NBA playoff series. How do you want to do this? Do you want to each do our own list? Do you want to do a list together? Like, how do you want to do this?
Why don't we each do our own list and we can compare?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So no Celtics. Celtics
No
not
Celtics.
Included, correct? Okay.
Yes.
And are we including 1-8 matchups? With
No.
The context.
Okay. I actually just think those series are actually suck. Yeah.
I disagree a little bit, but I sure, it doesn't matter to me. Okay. I think excuse me. I don't know. I have a weird feeling that whoever the Cavs play is going to be annoying to them, like the way the Celtics were annoyed in the 2022 first round, like the Hawks. Like I think the Heat or the Bulls could take a game or two just like being a pest. Or I don't think the Hawks. If it's the Hawks, I don't care. But if it's the Bulls or the Heat, I'm a little bit more interested. And then Grizzlies. I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but I think they could be annoying to the Thunder. And listen, man. Anthony Davis is a big motherfucker. I'm not saying they're going to take multiple games, but I think they could take a game from the Thunder. We'll see what happens, though. Regardless, the whole Luka trade has completely diluted the fact that Anthony Davis is one of the 10 best players in the NBA. So I'll put it that way. Okay, what's your one? What's your 1A? This is the series. Well, obviously, but you can say it.
My favorite series that is not Celtics is Knicks Pistons. It might be yours too. I don't know where it lands. I think this is going to be a competitive series. It's the first playoff series the Pistons have played in years. I think 2018 was the last time they made the playoffs. Blake Griffin was on the team. They got absolutely smoked. The Pistons have not won a playoff series since 2008 when they lost to the Celtics in the conference finals. And they've been playing a really fun style of basketball this year. They've been in a lot of close games. They've been a great, fun, rejuvenated team. The fans, as much as I hate when people say what fans deserve, the fans deserve to be in this environment, to have meaningful games to watch. And then you have the Knicks, who were a team coming into the season with really high aspirations. People put them as the 1B to the Celtics in the East just because they were built to compete with Boston. Celtics have owned them. The Cavs have owned them. If you're a good team in the NBA, you've owned the Knicks. They have a little bit to prove in this series, too. A lot of people like myself feel like there's a fair chance that they will
lost
not
audio
make it.
Again. It's all right. No, I get it. I don't know if I have them one. I just like pulled up the NBA standings so I could look at what's what. There's not a bad first round playoff series. I think there are interesting points and great players and great matchups in every single series. If I had to pick my one gut reaction, I think shit, man, this is hard. They're all so good because I thought I was gonna pick Bucks Pacers, but then I looked at the West. I was like, wait a second, it's kind of more interesting over there. I think I'm gonna go from a purely basketball perspective. Nuggets Clippers, I think, is the best series. I think Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, the healthiest he's probably been in 3 years. The best player in the planet on the other side, going up against Zubac, who probably could have been an all-star this year. Yeah, James Harden versus, Russ on the other side too. You got Jamal Murray, who's been one of the most clutch players in the NBA this year and for the past 5 years, it feels like. I think that's fun. So I think if I'm going to go one, I'm going to say Nuggets Clippers is going to be my most excited to watch series.
Yeah, I see it. Why don't we do this as like a draft so we don't each talk about the same series?
I'll take Nuggets Clippers.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fun one too because looking at it, I don't know which side I lean on. I think I'm rooting for the Clippers. I'm such a sucker. Like I like their uniforms.
It's more interesting. I like their uniforms too. They're cool.
That's such like a non-basketball fan thing. I just think their uniforms are sick. I like Ballmer. I like Kawhi. From a real storyline perspective, the Harden-Westbrook thing is interesting. I also think just the Harden thing is interesting because Harden's been pretty good this year. and Harden has this reputation as a playoff choker, someone who sucks in the playoffs, someone you can't rely on. It's a big moment. It's a good team, good players on the other side, a team with championship experience. Nuggets have just fired Mike Malone last week, so that's like another wrinkle to this where it makes you a little bit less certain of what they have going on over there. I'm excited. I'm just sitting here and thinking about the slate of games next weekend that I probably won't be able to watch.
About the what? When you get really quiet, it's tough to hear you a little bit because the mic's so far away. What'd you say?
The slate of games next weekend?
Yes.
Thinking about it.
Did you draft? Did you take a second, or did you just talk about Nuggets? Oh, okay.
I'm going to take this. I'll take the Rockets Warriors series. Why not? I think it does have that real feel that it could go either way. And it's really strange when you look at the higher seed and they're not the favored team. Makes you think, it excites you. There's star power. Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, great personalities to have here. You have Ime, who's a fiery personality on the other side. The Rockets are a team that don't fuck around. You saw the skirmish earlier this year between Amen Thompson and Tyler Hero, where he threw him to the ground. And the Rockets, they have something to prove. Like, people are telling them that they're not going to beat the Warriors, and they had a good season this year. They earned the position they're in. This was a competitive Western Conference. There are a lot of good teams out there. And they play more – like, we talk about the East and West and the records, and we joked about this throughout the standings watch this year. There's a little bit more weight when you win and you end up as the second seed in the West rather than being, let's say, the third seed in the East. We won't talk about the second seed in the East. There's nothing wrong with being the second seed in the East. When you're one of these teams that isn't quite as recordly impressive.
Not a 60-win team.
It's because you're just playing dogs every day. Like, these are all dogs, but they separated themselves from the pack. So there's something there, too. It should just be really competitive. You said it. You're excited to watch it, so I'll pick it.
Yes. That's a good pick. I think it would have been up there for me. I'm going to take Pacers-Bucks while I still can. I think it's just a fun series regardless. I think the Pacers play a very fun style of basketball. I also think Giannis is one of the best players in the world, so having him in a series is great. If I had to rank, because I mean, there's only one left, so like Lakers, Timberwolves would be next. When I initially looked at this, if I had to rank series I'm most excited to watch, maybe I flip it for Rockets Warriors with my Nuggets Clippers pick. I was really going back and forth between those two, but I'll go Nuggets Clippers, then Rockets Warriors, then Pacers Bucks, then probably Lakers Timberwolves. I'm not as interested in this Knicks Pistons series as you are. I don't really enjoy watching the Knicks. I don't really care about the Knicks. The Pistons are fine. Like, I think it'll be interesting, and this is why I said I think every series is interesting, because like I'm not not interested to watch that series. Like, I think it's be a phenomenal series, but I'm looking at Ime Udoka and the hard-nosed Rockets versus Jimmy Steph in the playoffs. Like, that's sick. I'm looking at the history of the Bucks Pacers series and their styles of basketball. I think that's sick. Luka and LeBron versus Ant, like the star power of that series, and then the basketball of Nuggets Clippers. Like, I just think the Knicks Pistons is the lowest level of basketball in any series.
That's okay. It might be fight, and people like that too.
Which would be fun. I like that too.
Everything's wrestling. You can just like go through all these series and like put yourself like a wrestling storyline together where you're like, oh yeah, like Lakers Wolves. Luka and the Mavs eliminated Anthony Edwards last year. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder and is this loud character that wants to prove himself and he feels like he's next up, kind of like Luka, even though Luka's further along in his NBA journey than Ant is. And Ant like also has this background where there are people that do not like Ant a lot and they want to root against Ant. There are people that don't want to watch Luka. They don't want to root for Luka. They think he whines too much. There are people like well, actually, I'm in the Luka camp too, and I'm in the LeBron camp. Where I can't stand LeBron.
Lost you out of you again. Oh, you're back. You're back.
I actually hate everyone in this series. Like, I'm rooting for the Timberwolves. I hate the Lakers. Ant is, to me, a hilarious character at times. He's flawed. There are things that he does that are not correct, but he is funny. And I would love to see him go toe-to-toe with LeBron and Luka. Maybe win game one, talk his shit after winning game one. I mean, there's just so many different avenues that this could go.
I can't hear you. I lost you again. Yeah, interesting series. Definitely fun. This is why I said I don't think there's a not interesting series in the first round because like Pistons Knicks, you have the history, and then you have just the fact that the Pistons have been a fun team this year. You got the star power of Lakers Timberwolves, you got the star power in like basketball prowess or whatever you want to call it of the Clippers Nuggets that I'm excited about. You've got Pacers Bucks history, you've got the Warriors versus Ime Udoka and the fun Rockets. Like even if you get into the other games, like I think the 1/8 and the 1/8 and then the Celtics match are less interesting, but they could be. Like you never know. So that's the beauty of the playoffs, and I think we'll have a lot of fun watching it. Moving on, Nico Harrison spoke with reporters in Dallas off the record. No phones, no media, no cameras, no audio devices allowed, and everything coming out of it is nothing he hasn't said to the media. So my take from this was it was useless and stupid and silly. And the only thing we've got really from it were two things. One, that Nico Harrison just kept saying defense wins championships over and over again. And then the other thing was Nico Harrison in a back and forth he had with Tim McMahon that got out there, which I don't know if it was just like somebody remembering it. I don't know if it was somebody snuck in an audio device and transcribed. I don't know how it got out there, but this back and forth was, quote, Tim McMahon, in your own words, you created a 3 to 4 year frame in building a finals team, a team that went to the finals last season, but you gave up your first round capital and control of 27, 28, 29, 30. So 3 to 4 years of ends, you're out in the first round of your first round draft capital. How is that a logical decision? Explain the logic of that for the long-term best interest of this franchise. And Nico Harrison goes, can you repeat that? Tim McMahon goes, 27 to 30. You're out on your first round capital. Your own words, you created a 3 to 4 year time frame. When the credit card bill comes due, that time frame is over. How is that the best interest of a long-term interest of the franchise? And again, 27 to 30, you're out of your capital. You build a finals team doing it, and you traded the guy who led that finals team. How is that in the long term best interest when he's at the time a 25-year-old generational talent who could have a 10 to 12-year runway? He's one of the best players we've seen. Nico Harrison, I keep saying the same thing, but defense wins championships. I believe that we have a championship caliber team, not only for now, but also for the future. Obviously, the future will hold if I'm right or wrong, and ultimately we're going to be held to the standard of wins and losses, and every executive in every field is going to be held to that same standard. Tim McMahon, your long-term best interest, though, 25, 26, 27, there's your 3 years. When you're out of your first-round capital, how does that make sense for the franchise? Nico said, like I said, we believe in the move we made. You obviously don't, and that's fine, and you're entitled to your opinions, but we're excited about the future of our team. I got nothing anymore, man. I don't know.
So there's an old saying that goes, it's better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Nico Harrison has removed all doubt. He just was up there saying stuff. There's another leaked back and forth that is also with Tim McMahon, who says, Luka was going to sign the Supermax. Why didn't you sign him if you really wanted to trade him? Nico goes, well, there's no guarantee he would sign a Supermax. Tim McMahon goes, he guaranteed it. He was bawling on the bench, like bawling his eyes out. And then Nico says, well, like I said, we can agree to disagree. And then he went on to compare this trade to the one that started everything for the Warriors when they committed to Steph and traded Monte Ellis for Andrew Bogut, and then they won a bunch of championships. Nico Harrison had himself a day yesterday. To my understanding, ownership made him do this press conference, and it was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, and he managed to push it back. But really, like, I love to joke about player podcasts, some of them being stupid. And I love to say maybe not everyone should have a microphone in front of them. Really bad time for Nico to have a microphone in front of them. And just, I mean, I guess you have to commit. You have to be like, yeah, like I believe in what I did. And I kind of respect that he's doing that. But then some of the things that he's saying to try and defend it are just hilarious. Like him spamming defense wins championships every time he gets confronted about this is just the best, actually.
What an unbelievable thing.
I just wonder what his answer would be if you were like, hey, like there's no guarantee that there's anybody ever that plays for the Mavericks again that's as good as Luka. Like, what do you think? Because it's true.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Speaking of trading away your franchise superstar, Joe Dumars was hired to be in charge of the Pelicans. He was the VP of something for the NBA for the last several years. Now he's back in the front office. And his first order of business via Pelicans ownership is to trade and move off of Zion. Oh, yes. Yes. Because it looks like all the rumors. Go ahead.
This came from, just for context, this came from a non-Shams, non-Windy, non-official source. So take this very much with a grain of salt. This was from, where did this even come from? I found it. It is from @FearTheBrown on Twitter. So Shamit Dua, who writes the In the Know Substack, contributes to New Orleans areas and updates, WDSU, in the NO pod. Like he is in New Orleans. He is a reporter, like in the Pelicans thing. But it is very much a, take it with a grain of salt a little bit. I would just in case. It's yes. Go ahead.
Since it looks like all the rumors are coming true, the final bit of intel we have on this whole situation is that ownership will mandate Dumars to keep Willie Green and trade Zion. This is what I've heard. It's possible the Phoenix situation impacts Willie Green, meaning Budenholzer getting fired. But this is the plan I'm hearing.
Yes. So the question of that is, who wants Zion? And this is not a no one situation because he's team options. It is a very flexible contract. And when Zion is on the court, Zion is a top 15 player in the NBA. Zion is like unstoppable. He is probably, when healthy, one of the most unstoppable players we've seen since Shaquille O'Neal. Like, genuinely, that is how incredible he is. No one gets doubled. No one gets pressured more than Zion when he's healthy. No one gets, double teamed or shown more bodies than Zion because he is that good. He is just never on the court. So then the question is, where does he go? Who wants him? And those are the questions we're going to be asking most of the summer until a trade potentially, inevitably, does happen. So my question to you, Sam, is where the hell does Zion get traded?
I think playoffs will tell you a lot about this. I think they're going to be teams that are maybe disappointed and they don't like the way things went for them. Maybe they were bounced earlier than they would like. I could see. There's also teams that would want to add firepower because they were proud of what they did this year too. Oddly enough, you could see the Pistons being one of them. Feels like they could take a big swing. They could feel good about what they saw from Cade this year. They have, one, no apron restrictions on them that is going to make it more difficult for them to make a move. And two, flexible salaries that they would probably be willing to trade. And they will also have cap space, I'm pretty sure. So that's one of them. I think the Bucks, I don't know what they could do, would be in a situation to do that. They may only have the Giannis Bradley. Probably won't have.
I don't think I could possibly think of a worse fit for Zion than the Bucks. What the hell?
Just thinking about, I'm thinking more about situations, storyline than basketball chemistry, which I probably shouldn't.
Explain the Bucks. Explain.
The Bucks are just in a shit situation where they are in this. They're on the decline. Like, it could be a desperation shot to try and maximize the Giannis is on our team part of this. I don't know their drafts. This is really, really bad podcasting. I'm actually really sorry about this. I missed. I still think the storyline makes sense, but I just don't know enough about the assets they have. I'm almost positive they're out of draft picks. They don't have that many things they can be like, hey, New Orleans, do you want this for Zion? I stand by the Pistons. And then I would just the Knicks don't have assets, but if it blew up in their face, they
see. I'm not thinking of playoff teams. I don't think playoff teams are going to want Zion. I think you look at the Hornets. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I think you look at the Hornets, say all right, we got LaMelo, we got Zion. We'll fill it out around there with Grant Williams, or Brandon Miller. You can get there salary wise pretty easily. Yusuf Nurkic's under contract for $18 million on an expiring deal next year. Josh Green's contract could help you there if you wanted to trade Grant or a Kogie's contract or something, and then you could add draft picks. I think that could be a potential spot that was like, okay, maybe we take a chance on this. I think if you're Miami, maybe you're like, okay, something's clearly not working. If we really want to push forward, we have the Wiggins contract, we have the Rozier contract, we have the Duncan Robinson contract. We can figure something out. Maybe they'll be interested in a Jaime Jaquez who hasn't played much this year, and that can be another young piece for them. Maybe they want a Pele Larson. Maybe they want one of these firsts that we have or these seconds that we can potentially trade. I think if you want to look out west, maybe you're like, okay, Clippers. Maybe we don't feel like super confident. Like maybe we want a little bit of extra juice. Like take our short-term timeline of being mid and extend it into a maybe better timeline, and you can trade whatever you got there. If you're the Grizzlies, I don't know how they feel about running Jaren Jackson as the full-time center. And I don't know exactly how they could get there salary-wise, but maybe you look at that as a potential option. And then the last one, if I have to assume they could find better options, but if they wanted to take the risk and it's not too expensive, a Wemby Zion front court with De'Aaron Fox running the show could be a very interesting thing, especially considering they have the Keldon Johnson contract, they have the Devin Vassell, Victor Wembanyama contracts as well, and they have some picks that they could probably still throw around very minimally. Another team also, the Hawks. I think Trae Young, Zion would be very interesting, and you have a few guys in there like the Terrence Mann contract and the other contracts you can throw in. So those are my pitches.
Yeah, I mean, it does make a lot of sense that a team like Charlotte would take a swing at Miami. Miami is the biggest.
You got hit with the mic bug again. I lost you. What did you say?
I mean, Charlotte makes sense.
Nope. Yeah. I think any team that has, like I said Charlotte and I said Atlanta because I'm thinking young-ish point guard or in their prime point guard hasn't been able to figure out, get them a lob threat, get them somebody who can also take a bunch of shots away. And I think that could make sense for those guys. Same thing with Ja. Same thing with maybe the Pacers if they could finagle something, but that's a bit of an awkward fit with Siakam. Same thing with the Pistons, like you said. So I think those are probably the most ideal landing spots for Zion if I had to pick.
The Miami one is going to be annoying. You're just going to see all they're getting him reports. It's going to be Dame all over again.
I wonder if Portland would take a swing.
I bet you they would. I thought about them, to be honest with you. Like, they have enough guys where it's like, oh, man, like, having Zion can play with Scoot could make things a little easier on him. The same argument you made earlier. And they probably have enough guys where they know who they like, they know who they don't. They're still young, and they can afford to pull pieces out to bring a bigger one in. Yeah, maybe Zion's a little bit better if he's not in one of the best food cities that there is. Like, joking aside, seriously.
Yeah, the food city. It's a pain in the ass for sure. Okay, last NBA. That was the last NBA thing. Ratless, Sam. I'll let you go ahead.
Ratless is this fucking mic. Whatever the fuck is going on today is really.
It's because you're holding it. It's not on a surface. Like it is like probably just moving the cord around.
I hold it a lot.
That's crazy to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a cord. I don't know if is the plug into the actual mic getting tangled. Like that's what usually happens to me. Like this thing right here comes loose. So maybe that's a little loose or it's not all the way in.
I don't think so.
I don't know what it is, but
it has aggravated me quite a bit today, as you can probably tell. And I'm sure it'll aggravate you too.
I don't know if I'm gonna even go through and edit them because I forgot. I like stopped taking them. I forgot to do one. Whatever.
You guys know.
Sorry. What do I have to rat list today? Laundry. I have so much laundry that is just sitting on my bed because I didn't have time to fold it last night, and now I have to go fold a bunch of laundry, and I don't want to do it. I have to go clean the sink of my dishes. There's so much shit going on, and I don't want to do any of it, but I have to do it, and so I've got shit to do, and I don't want to have shit to do, which is unfortunate.
Rat list is so my friends and I went to In-N-Out Burger this week because when you go on vacation somewhere and there's an In-N-Out Burger, it's the tourist thing you have to do. You have to go. So we all went, and when you go to In-N-Out Burger, you go up, they take your order, and you go sit, as they do actually.
Microphone. I lost you. I don't know what keeps happening. Are you hitting the mute button by accident? Is it coming like unplugged?
Hitting nothing.
I wonder if it's because you wrap the cord around. Like it just gives it so many chances to like.
I am doing nothing different today. I promise you, I'm doing nothing different than I usually do.
I don't know, man. In and out.
Now I'm gonna move everything around. Make sure I didn't fuck it up. In-N-Out Burger. You go to In-N-Out Burger, you put your order in, and then you sit and wait for them to call you. As you would at a lot of different fast food places. This is not just In-N-Out Burger thing. And when I'm sitting there waiting for orders, and these workers have to call out somebody's meal that is ready.
Yeah.
I am listening to people that just don't go get their meal. Like, are you not hungry? You're not hungry? You're not, like, sitting there waiting for order number 71? Like, your life depends on it? There was 1 or 2 times that they had to call multiple times. They go on the big loudspeaker because people might be sitting outside. And people did not. There should be a time limit that their order is up there for, and then they have somebody that's on the payroll that just eats it. Like, they should bring some guy out, and he eats your cheeseburger in front of you if you didn't urgently go up and get your order, because it fucking pissed me off. Especially considering I was hungry, and I was waiting for my order. And I'm just watching these ungrateful people ignore their number being called.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know if I have much else. It's been a pretty normal couple days. Realized flights to Orlando and stuff being expensive. It's just a pain in the ass. We didn't have the schedule before because like we had to wait till the last minute to book it, and so we're getting fucked.
For those of you that aren't in this like field per se, this is the worst. Like, it's the best time of year, but it's also the worst because you just don't know when you're working. You do not know when you cannot commit to doing anything because you don't know what the schedule is going to be until they release it for the single round. Then you have to wait again, and then they release it again. You usually get fucked once or twice. Usually there's a few conflicts that you just were like, please not this day, please not this day, please not this day. And then sure as shit, Adam Silver and the boys put the schedule together and fuck you over. And it's brutal. It's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed. I don't have much else. I think it's been a pretty normal couple of days. But if you have anything else, feel free, or else we can just get out of here.
I think I'm okay. I think I don't really have anything else. More to come on.
Cool. Do you want me to do the outro, or would you like to do the outro?
You do it. I don't have it in. If I have my mic drop in the intro, I'm just like something.
I will do the outro. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics here on Spotify, on Apple. Make sure to hit that follow button there. Which I didn't know there was a follow button there for the longest time, but follow us there. Leave us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate it. And leave us the actual review itself with some words, some nice stuff. Say some nice stuff about us. Subscribe on the YouTube. Turn the notification bell on so you know exactly when we're posting. You can also know when we're live because we're live before every single Celtics game, 30 minutes before. So come hang out with the chat. It's a lot of fun. You can check out Sam's work at Celtics Blog, my work at Harvard Houdini. You can follow me on Twitter at JacksonNBA. You can follow Sam on Twitter at SamLaFranceNBA. That's it for us. Bye.